Postural realignment is something that we talk about regularly on this channel, and I wanted to share this book with you. This is Yoga for Men Only by Frank Rudolph Young. I'm not 100% sure why Frank titled it Yoga for Men Only, because the lessons and the majority of the stuff in this book can easily be applied by both genders. So this is an excellent book, you guys. Frank really hits the nail on the head. These are relatively hard to find in good condition in actual physical format, but you can find these online if you do a little bit of digging for free in PDF form. I've read most of his books in PDF form, and I just prefer the actual hard copy. It's much easier to read. A lot of these PDFs were actually photocopied by someone, and they're just a pain in the ass to read. So let's take the dust jacket off to make it easier to skim through this book. Again, if you watch my channel, you know that I talk a lot about the yoga of Frank Rudolph Young and his works. We apply a lot of the lessons that he teaches about yoga here on this channel. I hold this man in high esteem, and I believe that the information in these books can really benefit your health if you're serious about getting healthy outside of just eating well and making sure you're getting the minerals and drinking clean water and, eating whole foods. That's part of the health puzzle, folks. But a large part of the health puzzle that goes unnoticed by many is postural recalibration, which is why we talk about it so much on this channel. Again, postural recalibration. After years of sleeping on beds that sag, and most people, they find a spot in their bed that, they find most comfortable, they favor it. And over time, that spot in the bed that they sleep on sags, and then your spine sags. Modern beds, although highly comfortable, have a lot of flaws in them. This is why I recommend sleeping on a hard surface for periodic periods throughout the year. This is what I do. This is what I recommend to clients, especially those who have posture issues, hip pain, joint pain, you name it. So, postural realignment is the process by which we seek to reopen our constricted vertebral openings. And these vertebral openings in our spine become constricted after years of, again, sleeping on beds, sitting in school chairs that don't support your spine the way that it needs to be supported. Wearing shoes damages the vertebral openings and constricts them, folks. So here we have a illustration. All the different nerve pathways have to pass through the vertebral openings in your spine on the way to their destinations. So you can imagine what would happen if these openings become constricted. And again, sleeping in beds, walking in shoes all the time, sitting in chairs that are like just the way that chairs in schools, especially that we all sat in, are designed, they're non-optimal to your spinal health. So postural recalibration should be the first and foremost goal of all yoga. And I don't see a lot of actual yoga teachers talking about this. They throw you into a class, they tell you to do some stretches and this, that, and the other. Modern yoga is kind of a sham, guys. So just a little review on this book. 10 out of 10. Yoga for Men Only. He's got other books on yoga that I highly recommend securing a copy of. Buy them, download them. I have 2 copies of this. This is the copy of mine that's in relatively good condition. I'm going to be holding on to this. I have another copy that's a little tattered and torn. If anybody wants it, just shoot me a message. My email's in the description box. I'll sell it to you at a fair price. But guys, you can find these online. Again, you can find them on eBay. You can find them for free on PDF form. This right here is an excellent, let me see if I can find it. This is an excellent practice. I do this almost nightly on a hard surface. I've really taken this man's books and applied them to my life, and I have weaved it into my daily practice. So Yoga for Men Only, this book gives you a very valid starting point on how to practice proper yoga, why you should, and it also illustrates what happens to the spine here in this matrix. Sitting on bad chairs and always walking on shoes with cushions on the bottom, that does not strengthen your feet, folks. It does not support your spine and your postural health the way that it needs to be. I'm not saying that we should just not wear shoes and become these hippies. No, I'm saying that throughout the day, we should set aside time to walk barefoot on the cement and on the grass and on the dirt. And that's why I've suggested for years now that people, as a starting point, if you really want to get serious about this whole postural realignment thing, you practice proper yoga, and all the information that you need and then some is in these books. On top of that, you start walking barefoot for 7.5 minutes on the cement every day and 7.5 minutes on the ground every day. And what I mean by that is on dirt and on grass. Cement walking has drastically different health benefits than grounding yourself on the earth, but the two, when used simultaneously or in tandem with one another, produce the best results. Walking barefoot on cement is more about strengthening your feet, strengthening your ankles, and strengthening your spine and your posture. Walking barefoot on the dirt and on the grass is going to allow you to receive the antioxidant qualities of grounding, the anti-inflammatory effects of grounding, and that's all laid out in Clinton Ober's book, Earthing, which I believe was co-authored by Stephen Sinatra, the cardiologist. So all the information is out there on why we should be doing these things, folks. But I see a lot of health teachers online, especially on YouTube, talking about just, getting your supplements in, taking your shakes, and, wearing your Fitbit. That's not the sum total of health. We have to have a foundation, folks, and your foundation is your posture, believe it or not. Your posture, correcting it in tandem with getting a flow of minerals into your body, is going to produce drastic results in the long run. So no amount of eating is going to fix your bad posture, folks. No amount of supplementation is going to fix your posture. The health benefits of whole foods, look at these homegrown tomatoes. Real food will cause your mind to grow, and it will cause your body to become more healthy, but it's not going to correct your posture, guys. This is living food, pulled right off the vine 10 minutes ago. I'm going to eat this. These are living foods, but no amount of real food is going to correct your posture unless you're severely overweight and eating a healthy diet makes you lose weight, at which your posture is going to naturally calibrate itself to some extent, but it's not going to completely fix the constricted vertebral openings. So again, real food is a piece to this puzzle, as you're seeing on the screen right now, but it doesn't make up the sum total of all health. You've got to have a valid foundation, and Yoga for Men Only, as well as all of Frank's other books on yoga, are essential. These have become homework pieces for clients, and I'll send clients the PDFs free of charge and this, that, and the other, but I would highly suggest just getting the books, buying them. So Frank Rudolph Young's Yoga for Men Only, even though the name is kind of deceptive because women can use this as well, this is a 10 out of 10, hands down. This is a gem in a world of ridiculous yoga practices where people just, how many yoga classes have you been to where the teacher actually lays out a foundation of what the purpose of yoga even is? It's more of like an exercise group event now, and I think that although that's cool if you're into it, we should seek to understand the fundamentals of why we're even practicing yoga first and foremost. Once you have a foundation of understanding that yoga first and foremost is a practice of postural realignment and recalibration, then move on to the next step. But anyways, guys, I love you all. Peace be with you.
Terence McKenna once said, "Culture is not your friend." This is a remarkably accurate quote. Today, humanity considers itself advanced, enlightened, and blessed because of their blind faith in our state-of-the-art, high-tech, programmatic, germ theory obsessive, scientific medical culture. But is this faith misplaced? An honest and diligent act of counter-research to the mainstream consensus of modern medicine and science will prove to the inquisitive researcher that yes, it actually is. A famous quote by the Royal Society, nullius in verba, meaning no man's word, is a phrase that we should all strive to live by. Nullius in verba, which can be interpreted as take nobody's word for it, is something that many of us fail to actually do. We tend to accept things as fact without even questioning why. Many people will fall into the trap of believing things simply because of somebody smarter than me figured it out, and therefore it must be true. Modern culture inspires people to blindly assign a godlike status to bought-out scientists, doctors, politicians, researchers, etc. This way of thinking is upheld and strengthened through the modern education system. This same education system rewards you for compliance to the mainstream worldview. This blind faith in the mainstream consensus eventually establishes a mindset whereby it becomes exceptionally difficult to look at things from outside the culturally indoctrinated worldview. It's akin to attempting to look at a vast landscape through a tiny hole. You simply cannot see the entire picture. What the people don't realize is that there are thousands of prestigious doctors, scientists, epidemiologists, virologists, etc. that are awake and attempting to expose the flaws in the modern God-complex medical scientific dictatorship domination system. You just don't hear from them because just like anything else that goes against the mainstream narrative, they are censored and not blasted into your mind via disgusting television sets. These televisions, sadly, are how those pushing their one-sided worldview dominate the minds of the masses. What a shame.